going on? It's me, Laura, and welcome to my channel. Alright guys, as you can tell by the title of this video, it's all about dementia. So these two story times are stories that have to deal with people who have had dementia or Alzheimer's or some type of memory loss going on in their lives. I didn't realize how real this disease was until I became a 911 dispatcher. I know a lot of people, I have a lot of friends who tell me lots of stories about their grandparents or their uncles or aunts and things like that, and they talk about, you know, like how crazy they are or how they say, you know, crazy things or how they wander away, and they just kind of, you know, take that as normal. But I just wanted to share with you all today that dementia is real. Alzheimer's is real, and we really need to be more aware and paying attention to the things that the people around us are doing and saying. The first story time is probably one of the first calls that I ever took like this. It started with this little old lady. My recording answered, 911, what is the address of the emergency? She said, well, there's a man that has broken into my house. Now, when she says this, she's a bit afraid. So I can hear in her voice, she's a bit nervous. So she's like, there's a man in my house and he's just broken in. And I asked her, where is he exactly? And she says he's in the living room. And I said, okay, do you know if he has any weapons or if he's intoxicated or anything like that? And she said, I don't know, he's in the living room. And I said, so where are you? And she said she was in her kitchen. I said, ma'am, are you able to move away to go like outside, go into another room or something like that so that he can't see you or hear you as you're on the phone with me? And she says, well, I'm on like a wired phone. What are those? She says, I'm on a wired phone, like a landline phone, and I can't go out into my garage. So he's just here in the house. And I'm just like, okay. And she's like, well, I got a walker, and my walker is in the other room. And in order to get to that other room, I'll have to go right past this man that's in my living room. Now, she said he was in her living room sitting in a chair. So that already kind of struck me as odd, because what type of burglar is usually sitting in the chair in the living room? Like, that's not really the norm, right? So I was like, okay. So as I'm typing in the notes, the dispatcher is asking me, like typing me questions like instant messenger, because we have instant message. So dispatcher is asking me questions, and then all of a sudden the lady says, oh my gosh, he must have fallen out of a tree because there are sticks all over his body, like he's covered in tree branches. And at that moment I knew that something wasn't right. By then the officer had just arrived on the scene, but the lady was too afraid to go to her front door to open it for the officer. So I literally had to, like, not convince her, but just really talk her through going to the door. She's like, I'm so afraid, ma'am. I told her what my name was. She's like, I'm so afraid, Laura. I'm so afraid that he's gonna kill me. And I said, ma'am, the officer is on the other side of the door. So all you have to do is say, like, if he moves, if he gets up or anything, I want you to say something. I should be able to hear. You say something, and at that moment, we'll have an officer to, you know, to come through to force entry. But you have to communicate to me. And so she said, okay. And she started walking through the living room, and she made it through the living room and to the door and spoke to the officer, and or let the officer in. So once I heard that, I went ahead and disconnected the line, because really, once the call is over with, you need to hang up, because if anything happens, if you hear anything else, you could be subpoenaed. You're subject to whatever information you hear or whatever information is recorded. So when the officers arrive on the scene, I know sometimes it's hard not to be nosy, but don't be nosy. Hang that thing up. The officers were able to get a hold of her son. Her son lived with her, and you know, just kind of told him to not leave her at home for too long by herself, because, you know, she called the police. So I hope that everything is okay with her. Oh, I really do. I really, really do. And then the next story, whew, this one was crazy. Than that one. I mean, that one's crazy. Different. But this one, okay. So I'm sitting at work, you know, any regular day, and I get an emergency call, and it's like, doo-doo. That's kind of what he did at the agency at work. It's like, doo-doo. And so I answer the call, 911, what is the address of the emergency? And there's a lady on the line. She's like, ma'am, my mom has gotten out of the house. And I was like, well, what do you mean by gotten out of the house? She says she's got dementia and she's wandered off, and I don't know where she is, and I don't really know how long she's been gone. I said, so when is the last time that you saw her or had contact with her? And she told me. And in this, we have, with the line of questioning, there's something called SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. And so whatever the problem nature is, so that problem nature, since it's an older person, would be a lost person, because you have like missing people and you have lost people, at least at the agency that I was at. Again, every agency has different problem natures, and different problem natures are for different things. So a lost person problem nature in the agency that I worked for was for adults, like elderly adults who had like some type of a disability. And then you also had that for like a child who maybe hadn't come home from school yet. But a missing person is something different. A missing person is like an adult who is of their right mind, who is in their right mind, if you would, and they just haven't been seen or heard from, or whatever like that. Nonetheless, this lady called, she gave me a description of her mom. She said she's a black female. This is what she was last wearing. This is how her hair is. And I put all of this information in the description box. Not the description. YouTube is on the brain, people. Okay. So I put all of the information in the call notes of the call. I put all that information in, and I told the woman to stay where she was, that I was sending an officer out to her, and to not leave. And so she did so, and maybe about 5 minutes later, I actually took the call to find the lady. Get a call, and it's from a teacher at the school, and she says, I just came out to my car after school, and there's a lady sitting in my passenger seat, and she will not get out of my car because she's saying she is trying to find her daughter. She is looking for her daughter. And as soon as she said those things, I was like, okay, can you describe this lady? And she told me, and she described exactly what my previous caller had described in her mother. And so I knew at that moment, I yelled across the room. I muted the phone first, and then I yelled across the room to my dispatcher. I said, hey, call Baker 2, whoever whatever his call sign is. Let the person who he's out with know that we found her mother. We sent that officer and the daughter to the location to go and get the mother. And this story is, if you are a 911 dispatcher or you're interested in being a 911 dispatcher, you need to know that there are going to be lots and lots and lots of calls with people who have dementia, who have Alzheimer's, who really just don't really know what's going on, and they're not aware. And it's our job as the first responders to just really speak into the family member and try to give them a bit of security, a sense of, I got you, and I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that we find, your loved one. You can't really give false hope. I told y'all, I did a whole video on false hope. We can't really give false hope. We can't say everything's going to be okay because we don't know that that's going to happen. But we can say, I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to do everything I can to help you right now. So just remember that. Don't ever give people false hope. And I know it's hard because me as a person, like, I'm just like a nice person. But as a dispatcher, you can't really say that. You have to be empathetic. You have to show empathy. That you guys enjoyed this video. I will be making more videos in the month of February. January is my birthday month, and I didn't really have time to be making YouTube videos because I was too busy living my best life at 34. So now that I've lived it up way too much, I'm back with videos. We will definitely be getting 1 video a week, but some weeks you might even get 2. I've been working really hard on remembering my stories, like the stuff that happened in 911. Like I told you guys previously, you just want to forget that. Every time you hang up the phone, you just want to be like, you know what? I don't even remember. But, you know, you guys are really just kind of bringing all of these stories back, all of these interesting topics and things. You're all bringing those back into my memories. So definitely stay tuned for more videos coming soon. If you have any type of video that you would like to see, any requests, definitely drop them down below. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Also, click that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I drop another video. Thank you guys.